on, Team IBB? It is IBB James, and I'm here with my friend, my man, Michael, the Italian Stallion Mannozzi. And for those of you that don't know, he is one of our first athletes that we sponsored. So thank you for being, kind of that driving force for Team IBB and being a big inspiration for that.
That's an honor.
A big thing is, so for example, when the Olympics were on, like Team USA, Team Canada, Team this, Team that, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to have Team IBB instead of just IBB. So there's simultaneously that and Nike's book, the Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that at the same time, and they're talking about how they built their brand and built their business and built their community was they were sponsoring athletes. And again, I'm a washed up distance runner, so anything Nike, I'm all about it. Anything Prefontaine, I'm all about it, all that fun stuff. So I think I lost money working at Second Soul because anytime Prefontaine stuff would come in or Oregon stuff would come in, I think I just lost money. But
I'm sorry I missed out on getting it when it was there.
My bad, man. Yeah, sorry, no one had a chance. So, So for me, I owe you a lot because you inspired kind of where this whole Team IBB thing started was when we were talking about your goals to be, to get to the Olympics and to continue to do great things. But I want to kind of, pump the brakes on, everybody sees the Italian Stallion now. You know what I'm saying? Like, even everybody sees people now. What they don't see is the beginning. And we always talk about viciously seeking opportunities. And I feel like you weren't handed this. You earned this by seeking an opportunity and seeking out a way to win. And so with I'm going to pause it there. Where we met was actually Notre Dame College.
Yeah.
So now I had gone there to run cross country and track. Messed up my hip really bad. So it was pretty much I had one healthy season, but you had originally gone there. So we're brothers in Notre Dame track and field, but you originally went there to wrestle, correct?
Correct, yes.
So when your first day at Notre Dame College was, I'm Mannozzi the wrestler.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
there was no oh, hey, one day I'll be on the U.S. track team, or hey, one day I'll be competing to be an Olympic athlete kind of thing. So kind of walk us through how I went from wrestling to track, and I want to talk more about those early days when you're trying to figure out what am I gonna do.
Absolutely, James. And it was very appropriate to have me walk you through it.
Yeah.
So what happened was I had a deep desire to be successful in athletics after graduation out of high school.
Yeah.
I went to Youngstown State. Fantastic college, no bad blood there at all. In fact, they're very good to me to this day. However, I was not at the level I needed to be to earn a spot on their track team, football team as a long snapper, believe it or not. And they had,
nice.
No, I didn't make it though. I didn't get a tryout, but that's another story. They have no wrestling team, and there wasn't going to be one within my lifetime. So I had to make a decision, and I had talked to 31 schools about wrestling. It's timing and how fortuitous that Notre Dame added a wrestling team. And I had found out at a tournament that I wrestled as an open. I went, 0-2, quickly lost to former state champs. And a guy had known I'm from Youngstown because I wore YSU singlets and hoodie. And so he told me, hey, Notre Dame College in Cleveland starting a wrestling team. Little did I foreshadow the dynasty that was about to begin. However, when I had shown interest, they only had signed maybe 3 guys. Frank Romano, the current coach to this day, a legend in his own right, he had told me he needed bodies. He had 4 months to get enough bodies to fill a lineup for a competition and to start his dynasty. He made a promise to the college, you give me 10 years and the leverage that I need, and I'll build a championship team. Of course, a lot of people laughed at him. He did it in 5 years. But where I come in is he needed a drill partner for his stars. And so I was like 6th, 8th string, 149 weight class, but I was thrilled to have the opportunity to come in there and be part of that program, because wrestling in college is it's such a harder animal than high school. And even when I was in high school and I spoke of having that dream to wrestle in college, people didn't take me serious. They laughed it off and said, well, you need to be good, you need to be tough. Many people within the sport didn't see it happening. And lo and behold, when the smoke cleared, I was one of the few people who did. And so I went in there, borrowed my stepfather's 3-piece suit that was, 2 sizes too big, made a good impression on Dave Armstrong, the former dean of admissions. And I made them, scratch their heads and say, there's something about this guy, let's give him a chance. And they did. And so I transferred from YSU with better grades than I had in high school. I had the desire simultaneously to walk onto the track team. Oddly enough, I was finding out who I was in the shadow of my father growing up without him and his death, and I found his class ring that had a track shoe on it. Within that time frame, I also read about the legendary Prefontaine. And so what happened was that put a spark in me. I mean, it's hard to read about Steve Prefontaine and not have an appreciation for our sport of track and field. And so those two things combined really spurred me to say, my father didn't live long. This legendary runner,
and to the Italian Stallion, like that, that's your nickname that you go by, but that's a tribute to him, correct?
Exactly, and this is where that started. You're actually just a step ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
No pun intended. A step ahead of me in this race.
Hey, man, we can go for days.
I know, but the track and field athletes, right? But they're appropriate.
Yeah.
So I asked for a chance to walk on. It was met with hesitancy, but eventually it was permitted by both the wrestling coaches and the cross-country coaches. And that's where James and I met. And actually, James was the first person on that cross-country team to give me a fist bump after a workout. I didn't know, just like that, in 2006.
Credit where credit, Jason Chuhey was my mentor and the guy who took me under his wing at Notre Dame. He was 2 years older than me. And that's where he always did the fist bump. And now I'm coaching track.
And successfully.
Which is really cool.
Your team's doing really good.
Yeah, they're doing. They work very, very hard. They work very, very hard.
I would too, though. If Zach Fennell spoke to my practice.
That's right. Just saying. So, but they're always like, coach, you just fist bump. Like I get so excited because it the fundamentals of track and field. And even in wrestling, I say in swimming, those kind of sports where you're on a team, but it's like you can't fake your way through.
Absolutely.
You can't win unless you've really put in your own work.
Yeah, you're still an individual.
You know what I'm saying? You can't ride the team's success, so to speak. So, I think that but that's the key to life to me.
Absolutely.
I get so excited, but I always say I got to hit my fist bump quota. But that's because Jason Chuhey instilled in me a sense of pride, not only as an athlete, but you're talking about getting better grades in college, and you got in high. I was like, hey, what do you do that before a test? That's when you study, and he taught me that. Hey, if you study maybe a week before, then instead of getting C's, maybe a B, you can get all A's. So just something that, So again, that fist bump, that take pride in that, and remembering that because. I'm sorry that there's a lot of Notre Dame college roots, and there's so much that we got out of our Notre Dame college experience that
without a doubt.
Maybe obviously the education part was important, but I think that the things outside the textbook, things outside the classroom,
they enriched our experience and our skill set.
Such an insane level.
Absolutely.
Level. So
that's why athletics matter.
Totally.
Not for an ego, not simply for visibility and recognition, but that helped us it forced us to apply those skills or not apply them. And either way, we were going to reap what we had sown.
Exactly. So very good. So I went on a little rant there. So
that's very, very timely.
So all right. Sorry.
So with the Italian Stallion, just real quick, that was my father was proud to be a Mannozzi, and then within a year, he and my grandfather had died, and that left me to kind of figure out who I was, to kind of become my own man, and that was a very critical time of my development, mentally, emotionally.
How old were you?
I was 14 when he died, and he had died, though, slowly from MS for 10 years, so that left an impact that made me realize, you don't know what's going to happen to you. If you want to try for this cross-country team, don't worry about the dirty looks you're going to get or the questions you're going to get from people. You need to try it.